I need to
I'm doing all right.
stay. I can figure out what we're doing. This is Metashift.
This is Metashift.
This is our fellows versus Cossacks and friends.
Yeah. It is. Dog toy be going crazy though.
Mm-hmm.
How's your class? You have a
It's riveting. Called China after 1911.
China after 1911.
Yeah.
Why specifically 1911? What? Like usually there's a big delineating event.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping to find out.
Oh.
So far, we've actually, just for historical background, we've only talked about China before now. I believe there's
sounds
a
like-
revolution of some kind.
That sounds like the
Oh,
class
yeah.
isn't the best name then. If
It was the end of the Qing dynasty, their last imperial dynasty.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you have to take China before 1911 as a prereq, or
No. That's the fun part. I
you're
did
just
not.
you're just jumping in?
Yep.
1911. That's the start date.
Yes, it is. I will know very little about China prior to then.
Okay, but let's be real. RotM got the best casters in the business. Changed my mind. Now we suck.
Hey, we have fun with it, you know?
All right. Well, we're doing draft. Did you get a link? I probably could have sent you one, but I didn't.
Oh, is it? Yeah, you should send it to me.
Okay. That might help you out, or you could just follow along in the stream, I guess. But then
No,
you're
I need to have
behind.
the live update.
Well, we're live with Metashift Helium Division Week 4. We got Cossacks and Friends taking on Return of the Middle Stick Surprise Party. Both teams are 2-1, so trying to work their way up to the top of the standings with a win tonight. Yeah, Tarek, Wukong, Silas, Sivir, Aatrox all gone. And last ban for Surprise Party now. I'm Maris, my co-caster's Lexus tonight.
Yes.
I think I covered it. I think we did.
Yeah, I think you got it.
All right.
All we're waiting on now is this third ban.
They're taking a little bit to think about this one. It's gonna be Senna. It's taking.
Senna seems fair. Having no personal, I have no background on Cossacks and Friends or what they play, but Senna's seems like a decent enough ban. Trundle Blue 1. Holy.
Yeah, it's something we saw featured last night. Also the Tarek and the Silas last night from ROTM won't be played. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes most of the bands check out,
Yeah.
right? I think the only weird one is Tarek. I don't think he's that OP. But...
You didn't see the Scrams Tarek jungle in game 1
Oh,
yesterday.
that's what
Things
that's
OP.
what it was.
Yeah. Seraphine
My
gonna be
God.
locked in.
Yeah, I'm not a big Blue One Trundle fan. He's mostly like a deterrent, right? And he does function generally well. But if Scram simply plays something that doesn't just get clubbed, then you know, now you just have a Trundle who doesn't win the early game, I guess.
Yeah, last night we had a Trundle top lane flex for whoever we were playing against, which killed a lot of towers, but wasn't super effective other than that.
Yeah,
MF going to
you'd
be the
think
lock-in for Cossacks and friends.
you think Trundle Top would be better considering how good he is in the jungle, but he's really not. It's really even into lanes where you feel like he'd be strong. Like Trundle Top doesn't really win the lane against Sejuani. He just obviously like maybe he's good in team fight against her or good in split later on, but he doesn't really win or like have pressure early in more matchups than you think. Misfortune, Amumu, Curse of the Sad Bullet Time, locked in Seraphine Jinx. That's the response to Seraphine Jinx.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
presumably the Amumu support could, I guess, flex the Amumu jungle with the Trundle top, but that
Almost definitely. It's a lot of pressure in the bot lane with the Misfortune who has the known for having a pretty decent early lane in the Amumu. And then we're gonna lock in Zac, which is a bit curious. Probably one of Zac's worst matchups is Trundle.
yeah, that feels like not the counter pick that it's imagined to be, right? You saw the enemy jungler, presumably Trundle, and you pick Zac, who can get pillared out of slingshot, and also have all his resistance
pillared out
stolen.
of. You get about halfway through your slingshot, you get knocked out by pillar, and then you get ulted, and then you get one-shotted. But it is good at punishing a champion like Misfortune. You know, that's the Zac angle, right?
If
You don't
can
really
get there.
care if you're dying. If you can get Zac onto Misfortune and then layer Seraphine over the top, then that's your angle, right? If you're trying to sticks.
Yeah. Veigar
Or you go
Mordekaiser.
full AP Zac.
Yeah.
Nuclear one-shot Zac.
Looking at solo laners, so Mordekaiser, Kennen, Veigar, all gone, and Soigné. So Knockin' Wing pretty far down his tier list because we've seen him play the Veigar, Swain, and Kennen now. So where are we gonna
Still
go?
got a few
Yeah.
goofy noodle-armed picks in there.
Oh, and he played the Aatrox last night, plus the
Okay.
Sylas. So like,
Okay.
does he even have champions left? Like, come on.
The Wing
Shen.
Nation on a champion.
Blind Shen.
We commented, Scourcat said Zac might be a flex pick. It would seem to no longer be that. Blind Shen. Shen's pretty good. Shen has been pretty strong since the teleport change. He's been one of the stronger top laners, at least in solo queue, but he hasn't been popping up that much in like higher levels of competitive play, right? So it's interesting to see him locked in here. Camille picked. Shen's considered a traditional like Camille counter, at least for the early parts of the game. Obviously, eventually Camille is Camille and outscales you, but
yeah, it's a little harder lane to play early on as the Camille, just thanks to the Spirits Refuge.
Yeah, it's like it's the same reason. It's a little goofy,
there's
but
a Corki in my video game. All right.
The Teemo lane is impossible for Camille. Turns out when your entire source of damage gets blocked, you don't usually win the 1v1. So, yeah, Corki, yawn. I mean, I think Winged plays a lot of things that are decent enough into Corki.
I'm curious what we're gonna see. They're lacking magic damage and a lot of it, and there it is. It's the Cassiopeia. So
yeah,
a little bit of a farm in lane.
That's really weird to me. I don't know how good Cassiopeia is here, just in general, like into this lane or into this team. I could be wrong. I don't have an advanced Cassiopeia understanding, but
yeah, I feel like it's okay into the Corki, but it's the same issue that I thought he would have on the Aatrox yesterday, where I don't know how you play team fights as Cassiopeia against this team comp. Like, you can't run forward and hit MF Corki, and you can't really run backwards because you're just getting CC'd by Trundle, Mumu, Camille. So it just seems like you kind of exist in no man's land, which is exactly where you don't want to be against bullet time and rockets and all that nonsense.
Yeah, maybe honestly just a longer range artillery mage I think would have maybe looked good, but you are then really susceptible to the Amumu, Camille engage, Trundle Pillars.
Yeah, I'm also
I don't know.
a little worried we saw Winged being a little bit susceptible to the pressure yesterday, just the 3 and 4 man squads roaming through mid, and if you repeat that, Cassiopeia doesn't survive that particularly well.
Was it one of those like play safe mid moments?
Yeah, it was a lot of play safe mid moments where there's a support and a jungler and a mid laner all in the lane, and to his credit, he absorbed a lot of pressure last night, and we had the largest toe gap in the entire world yesterday in game 1. Toe went kind of crazy, like 10 and 1 on a Silas in game 1.
Okay.
And then game 2 Wing had a little bit stronger of a game, but still a lot of pressure early on put towards mid, and it seems like that's the strategy that a lot of teams have opted for against this particular ROTM lineup.
Curious. See how it goes tonight.
Yeah. It always feels weird, the back-to-back nights. It's like, how much can you actually read into what happened literally yesterday?
Well, and today is patch day, right?
Right.
So it's not a huge patch, but in theory there's a few changes at work. I don't even remember. I mean,
I don't honestly think any of the champions in this game were in the patch notes.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
Just going off quick memory, I don't think so, but
I don't even know if any of the champions in the ban list. Nobody. Nope. I don't think so. Hey, that just means you gotta keep your eye on game 2. It's a pretty small patch. It was like a few ADC buffs and nerfs.
yeah, a lot of it was just trying to those champions that are just like right on the verges of getting played, and the ones that are like just a little too dominant all got like tapped or buffed respectively.
And the Udyr rework.
And the Udyr rework, but Udyr not available and won't be available for Worlds, so that seems a little weird. They just took that champion out of the pool, even though he was like a A-tier jungler. Maybe maybe upper B, depending on how Udyr you are. Yeah, I'm looking at the list now, and there's actually none of the champions that were picked or banned were on the buff or nerf list.
Yeah.
But will we see the Evans Shroud of Mumu? Because that got buffed. That's the only item that got changed, though.
Maybe. Actually, I didn't even read what they did to that. That item has just been bad since its release.
Evans Shroud.
I got it.
Coruscation duration 5 seconds, and the damage amp is up to 10.
Yeah, that still looks duty, I'll be honest with you.
I really want that item to be good because it theoretically is very fun, but it just isn't. It's not good enough stats.
Yeah, I mean...
Also, it gets nerfed. Like, the name gets nerfed when you upgrade it with the Ornn item. From Evans Shroud to Equinox. That's a really boring name.
Equinox is pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's like a standard item descriptor.
It's like... It's no blood word.
No, it's definitely no blood word. That's for sure.
No Squidward in the... No gang Squidward. The blood words and the crypt words.
You gotta pick a side, you know? Especially with Riot Games being in LA, they made their choice, I guess. Boy, we got 2 minutes before we load into game.
We're already on the blood word and crypt word.
Twitch added a donation thing, which is kind of neat. So I just tagged it as Trevor Project, which is who we donated to during June. I guess if you want to donate in Middle Six name to to that, you can do that. It's kind of neat, but you can just look at the chat. It's at the top of the chat now.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Donating for a project outside of the month of June?
Yeah, I know. That's
whoa, whoa.
a little sus.
It all ends when June's over, man.
Yeah, we gotta change the Pride icon back. We don't care anymore.
Yep. Reliquary of the Golden Dawn. What is that item? Is that Locket?
Yeah, that's Locket.
Yeah. It's pretty beast. Oh.
Alright, well. We definitely have some team comps, that's for sure. You're playing solo queue. Which team you'd rather be on?
I would rather be on blue team. I'll say that. I think it's easier to execute. I think you have a pretty clear goal of a Mumu going in, Trundle fishing with Pillar, Camille catching people out of position, and then you just have Corky and Misfortune layering their damage over the top, and you have pretty decent mid-level damage from Trundle and Camille, right? Assuming they both get Sunderer. You're also good at shutting down the Zac engage, and if you shut down the Zac engage, there's it's really difficult for Cassiopeia to get involved in these team fights. On the other hand, it's not like it's awful.
Right.
It's not like it's unplayable for the side of RTM, but just I think there's definitely something to be said about the ease of execution of Cossacks and friends. You know, Cossacks, his friends will hit the engage, and he will press ult, and there you go.
Yeah, that definitely seems like a winning game plan for C and F. Shout out to Oath, by the way, for gifting 4 subs. Thank you. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Appreciate that.
Wait, did I get a sub?
Doesn't look like it.
Come on.
Also, the names for Cossacks and friends, Cossacks being the most normal of them, gonna be a real treat to cast all series.
Island Captain Laser Kush, Grizzy Grimes, Cossacks, and Clid Cootie. Yeah. Hey. Those are pretty good.
Yeah. Coming
real from a guy who knows a thing or two about a good username. Those are pretty good.
Well, little invade from Captain Lasercush. Gonna find Toe just chilling right outside the butt.
Okay.
Trundle could have walked up and just like give him a little kiss on the cheek there, and he wouldn't have even known.
This is how it's gonna be.
Oh, just chipped an extra gift sub for you. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Oath. This is awesome. Okay.
Well, Death Lotus gonna get the make it rain treatment as he walks into lane. I'm curious. So Cossacks has the Comet. I was gonna call it Arcane Comet, but there's only one Arcane character in the game, and that's Jinx, right? It's not MF.
Yeah, I remember when we thought Camille was gonna be an Arcane. That would have been cool.
Yeah, I feel like that would have a little different tone potentially than maybe what they're going for, because she's kind of
sure,
a bitch, but also like very much. But
bandage toss.
I am kind of curious if it's going to be the Leandri's Manamune build from Cossacks, or if we're going to see more traditional, like an Eclipse or something like that from him.
Oh wow, it's a lot of damage coming out. Did he tank a tower shot? I wasn't paying that much attention.
I don't think he got a tower shot during that. It was just the damage from Altera plus the zap from Death Lotus, I think.
Yeah. Yep. Laying it down.
Yeah, this is the experience though. Clid Cootie hits the bandage toss, and They have to use the heal from Altera just to make sure that they're staying healthy enough to avoid an all-in, because the Amumu does have a second bandage, as it turns out. He can hide more than one.
Yeah, there's
That was
something
a
to be said about fleet footwork when you're laning against Comet Misfortune, but I'm sure that someone better than AC than me would say don't do that. Other interesting thing is Scrams has done a blue into his full red side clear. Um, Thought Island looks like he's getting his cheater recall in right now.
I'm curious, did they have any tabs on Trundle prior to
Right now.
now? Because that reads more like he was trying to counter gank top, potentially.
I'm not sure, but I think Trundle's one of those characters where a lot of the time you see a jungler doing atypical pathing to avoid getting invaded by Trundle. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting invaded by Trundle right now, but he's not getting
He's not getting clubbed. Yeah.
Yeah. Scram's sitting up top looking for the gank. So it's going to be a nice little bit of a lead for Monsieur Captain Laser Kush. It's actually a dive opportunity here in the bottom lane, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for it. No heal.
Do you think Laser Kush is like his last name? Does he have that on his military uniform?
I'll be honest. I don't think Laser Kush is his last name.
You're breaking my heart here. A little extended trade. Wing's gonna get the better of that one thanks to his nice Conqueror proc. And still has a little bit of mana left in the tank to maybe look for a solo kill or fish for it, but that's always the tough management for Cassiopeia early. It isn't the lack of damage, it's the lack of mana early on.
Yeah. She actually, right after the durability patch, I don't even know if they buffed her. It might just still be the ongoing issue with Cassiopeia's. She used to actually have an opportunity for in early lane to put out early kill pressure, but now that champions are just that little bit tankier, she runs out of mana too fast to actually execute on that, right? So
yeah, it feels like you're forced into tier early, where I think you could have gotten away with a D ring prior to now.
I think
I'm again not a mid lane
tier early because she's one of the champs that actually builds tier.
Yeah.
But Winged is going to be able to force a second reset out of Grizzly Grimes. It's going to be who already uses teleport. Laser Kush holds the wave, so it's not going to wind up costing the Corki too much. But Winged probably has a chapter here. Yeah. So this
how do you feel
should
about the
feel pretty good for him.
Double cull from Grizzly Grimes and Thought Island?
They're scaling. Honestly, Cole is
Are you Cole enjoyer?
If your game plan is to do, yeah, I love Cole. I'll buy Cole all the time. I mean, Thought Island got his cheater recall. He got his third wave crash into a free reset. And what is one supposed to do with that, like 450 to 500 gold, other than purchase a Cole?
Ooh, big little chunk. Big little chunk? I'm just not gonna talk anymore, man.
Hey,
that's cringe.
Big little chunk. That's what they called me in high school. Yeah.
Trundle and Corcus are gonna roam down to Dragon, and it looks like Cossacks and friends have their eyes on this first Dragon of the game, and it really shouldn't be contestable for RTM.
Yeah, should be free to pick up for them. Although, yeah, honestly, it should be free to pick up for them.
Yeah, Clid could gonna walk in, get a little ward. They do see that Scrams is there, which means that they could, if they're feeling strong right now, can look for an invade. But Winged, waiting around in the area, this could be a pinch or a collapse or a lot of different things, and it looks like it's just gonna be the Blast Conan to Zap combo from Death Lotus, and everybody goes back to their own jungle.
And I mean, this kind of the tough problem is how can RTM really force the issue there, right? Even if they weren't totally shoved in bot lane, you know, Zach can't really jump in. I guess they have Shen ult available if they wanted to set a play, but his wave is pushing away from him, so he's got to get that in. But I don't know. And then you could say, oh, well, we need Seraphine ult, but once, you know, I think the fight gets even harder when you're playing against Bullet Time and Cursed Sad Mummy, and then Trundle has his ult to counter the Zac even harder. So
Yeah, it feels like not a huge amount of good plays available right now, and the bullet time forces the flash out of Death Lotus. Just gets caught in the vortex there, a little too aggressive, looking for a couple extra autos.
yeah, that should result probably in a first blood in the bot side sooner than later. Clid Cootie's gonna hit 6 off this wave, I think, approximately. Maybe I'm not doing my math right or not paying attention right. Here, I haven't even clicked on him.
Yeah,
next minion he's 6, and he should just flash onto Death Lotus.
Thought
They're respecting
Island
it though.
went in for the wall dive, but just not a whole lot happening around the map, which you have to imagine favors Cossacks and friends. They're already out to about 1,000 gold lead off of pretty much nothing happening in the game, and now the invade coming in. Skrams will just slap him into the red buff. They'll call in Shen with the Stand United, so Captain Laserkush may be in a little bit of trouble. Meanwhile, it's first blood in the bottom lane. Just a little overextension, and the Super Mega Death Rocket finds the kill for Death Lotus, and now Wing is able to collapse first. They'll get the Petrifying Gaze into the knockups. They have the damage to take down Thought Island, and Skrams goes over the wall with Captain Laserkush, just hitting the little plasma shot, but it's not quite enough damage to take down the Trundle. But it's 2 kills for RTM across the map, and now they have a small gold lead back in their favor.
Yeah, I would love if we had a replay factor so I could really see what was happening in the bot side. On the other hand, I think Cossacks and friends, they're top side, right? We didn't fully respect Shen, and I think you get used to, because we just seen Cassiopeia reset, right? Or Trundle has just seen Cassiopeia reset.
Mm-hmm.
So he feels like he's got a window of time before Cass is back on the map to go for this play, go for this invade. But Wing just TPs the tier 2 top tower, which is in fact something you can still do. If you make a play close enough to a tower, people can still teleport to it. So good looks from Wing. Appropriate usage of the Shen ult from Toe Knuckles.
Yeah.
And I again, not entirely sure what happened bot lane, but I'm assuming that skill issue. I don't know. They outplayed it or something.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but with both ults being used, and oh my god, Death Lotus is in a rough spot. You just cannot go to that side of the tower and try to farm against MF with an ult up.
Yeah, they're doing a great job down here in the bottom lane. Cossacks and his friend, building a nice CS sleep for themselves, and they've got a plate as well. So I can check. Yeah, they've got a small gold advantage despite giving up first blood.
And now
it should
really
grow
forcing
a
the
bit
issue.
here.
Just gonna go ahead and drop down
will
Shelly.
Not should just be plates for Cossacks. This could be a good look from Zach, but Porky package is picked up, and that should be all the deterrent they need.
Ooh, and Captain Laserkush just able to spot out Winged with the sweeper means that he doesn't want to go for the play, and he knows that he doesn't want to go for it now, but they're going to pinch Winged. The pillar plus the package combo. Winged gets a big Petrifying Gaze, but just doesn't have the damage to really exchange anything back. And now Clid Cootie and Cossacks are going to rotate just a little bit before Altera and Death Lotus will. Oh, the bandage toss over the wall, just able to find that range. He's got more CC in the tank if he wants to use it. Now gets trapped on the Flame Chompers, and that'll be a kill for Death Lotus. Just a little too cheeky there from the Amumu. Those should still get this dragon. I don't think Death Lotus and Altera can really help walk in here with Skrams.
There's Shen ult soon. Shen ult is up very soon.
Oh, and they get the root, the zap into the root from Seraphine. Skrams goes in with the Shen ult. Laserkush is low, but they're going to choose to go on to Cossacks, and they will finish him off. RTM has found a couple of nice little plays, and it's helped them stay even in gold despite not being able to right-click the minions as well as Cossacks and friends.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say they're doing all right. I mean,
yeah.
And two This should be getting a... Yeah, I mean, the gold is now equalized down the bottom lane. I think with the way the wave is, you might see Cossacks with a small lead, but it's all but equal. Toe Knuckles a little down for his troubles, but I don't think you can complain too much. I think if you go down, whatever, it's going to be like 10 CS after you catch this wave and then pick up kills for your team, you're always happy. Dragon picked up, it's going to be Infernal Soul on the map. Honestly, I think Infernal Soul is really boring.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Tell me about that, because I imagine that's
It's
something a
just,
lot of people won't agree with. But
it's just more damage. Like there's nothing fun with. I think isn't change the way you play the game at all. You just deal more damage. You know.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make the most sense. But like Cloud Dragons, right? Having the extra move speed and slow resist, it can kind of change the way things work.
I don't know that I feel like any of the dragons. Maybe I'm just, this is my,
or
bronze
I should say
2 solo queue.
not necessarily
Everything.
the
It doesn't
dragons,
like,
right?
yeah.
But the soul. I think the soul is boring. It's just a little fart of extra damage. You know.
Yeah. I feel like the dragons are valuable, but I don't know that it, like, any of them really change the way that you have to approach things, which, again, maybe that's my bronze
I think
2 coming out, but, like,
well, yeah,
you
they don't
see
necessarily, but
you see
like
somebody with
if you have
Infernal
Cloud
Soul, it
Soul,
just means that
you
they
know,
can walk up and poke you. They get Hextech Soul,
Cloud
they can
Soul,
walk up
you're
and poke you.
freaking flying around, you know. That that's interesting.
Yeah, Toe
That's
trapped in
different.
the Hextech Ultimatum. They've got a lot of crowd control here to eventually chop him down.
Yeah, the double Divine Sunder will also do a bit of Shen chopping. And now Laserkush is kind of between just hitting the red buff in between Winged and Scrams, and the timing just happens to be perfect that he will get away with it.
I don't
Spot
know
lane
that,
tower is going to go down sooner or later.
yeah, I
They're
don't
doing
know
their
that
all.
Winged and Toe could really do a whole lot about it anyway, but now we're gonna go for Sheila, and Toe has ult if they really want to force the issue, but it doesn't look like Scrams and Winged want to do that just yet.
And just by the way, since
Charm gonna land onto Cossacks.
no flash on Cossacks, he's probably dead here.
Yeah, need to hit the Jinx Rocket. Don't even need the Jinx Rocket. Auto attack from Altera picks him up the kill, and
Yeah, I think it's nice. They see the Amumu off map or out of lane on a ward and just pick up the little freebie.
And I like that because that was something they weren't able to do last night even. Was a lot of roaming by the enemy support, but they weren't able to capitalize really on the enemy AD being solo. This time picking up the kill, they're going to pick up a... never mind, not turret plates because we're at 16 minutes. This game has just...
They're going to get a tower though.
Already lasted a while, but yeah, it's the biggest turret plate, right?
The big old full turret plate. Oh,
Yeah.
blue buff gets taken by red buff. Haha. Rest in peace, Grizzy Grimes. He's opted for a Trinity Force Corki here, by the way, which is an old head move, as they say. But it's not something that you see very much, right? You always see the first strike, the like AP rocket blaster build, right, out of Corkies. But he actually does a surprising amount of damage with this, and I think it makes some amount of sense when you're trying to take down the front line on the side of RTM. But I don't know if it really plays into the range advantage fantasy that RTM's trying to have here with that Cossacks and Friends is trying to have.
Oh, Clid Cootie not quite able to launch himself with the Blast Cone, has to use his flash instead. I feel like the real pro play from Scrams would have been to slap him initially into the Blast Cone, but I think he can do that.
Might have. Oh, I guess it was.
It was
Clid
after.
Cootie that hit it because it was his Glacial Augment procced.
Your Glacial Augment procs when you get... Oh, okay. That's a little slow.
All I know is what I saw. Maybe he bandage tossed, but I wouldn't be shocked if it worked like that.
Yeah.
Third dragon coming up. It's spawning. Package picked up. Both top laners are going to pull up.
It uses aftershock if you launch somebody else with it for some reason. So I would imagine Glacial
Ooh.
works the same way. Yeah, package can be used
Package
just a segment.
hits nobody.
Yeah,
Does
hasn't.
put Grizzy Grimes fairly out of position.
These have been some FedEx packages, not the
What are we doing?
USPS, you know. Scrams is looking for the engage. They have the Shen ult if it doesn't get interrupted. But that's the risk that you're running. Scrams is going to go down just into the bloblets. They'll take down a Mumu.
Oh,
Cossacks taking a lot of damage on the back end, just trying to play this fight as the two marksmen, as they're just getting zerged down. It's a double kill for Death Lotus on the Jinx. Shen ult hasn't been used during this whole sequence, by the way. No shield, no teleport coming in. So it's the 2-for-1 trade, but both junglers off the map, and now Death Lotus looking for a little bit more. A lot of damage being traded back, and Grizzy Grimes gets the shutdown. Altera's so low, trying to play the distance, but it's just the trade between the MF and the Seraphine. So
wow.
the two mid laners left to circle around the dragon and try to pick up the pieces for their teams.
Yeah. I thought that might be a kill onto Cossacks or Grizzy, but nice turnaround maybe. I think our team didn't really expect that damage to come out. We still have heal, we still have both flashes available on the dead members. Still Super Mega Death Rocket. One thing, just in general, I think RTM, they had a generally good result, right? They overchased. But Clid Cootie did not use his ultimate in that fight. It was available, did not get cast. He also has purchased the Even Shroud per your request.
That extra 1% damage increase is huge. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see. And now we're gonna line up and do it all again, I think.
I don't think I requested an Even Shroud.
What is this?
Mentioned that it got buffed,
Hello?
but Captain Laserkush taking a tour of the RotM jungle has to force his flash. Curse of the Sad bullet time just hitting Altera makes her very unhealthy, as it turns out, but stays alive. And RTM still able to posture in here. Yeah, Toe Knuckles still has the ult if they're looking for the engage, and still getting shoved in by Thought Island, so might not be able to get down. Grizzy Grimes can't quite find the rocket onto Altera, just forces Scrams out of the jungle. They're still...
Both top laners are looking. I mean, Camille's staying here, she's staying in bush prepping for a teleport, while they're looking to Channel. RTM's going to opt for the mid tower, which I think is a fine trade. You're getting a little too bullied out by this.
Yeah, the health bar is just a little bit too much in favor of Cossacks and friends, and that means that we trade mid tower for Dragon. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Scorecard, no decision. So I got it.
Scorecard, I think generally positive for the side of Cossacks and friends. I mean,
yeah.
Stacking dragons is love it or hate it. That's kind of how you win League of Legends. So good for them. But not game over for RTM. They get a little bit of gold back as well as some map pressure. So I think some nice discipline. I think you'd see a lot of teams at this level of play simply run it down at Dragon, right? And RTM opted not to, which is nice to see.
Yeah, Winged has to be a little bit careful. There's a goon squad in the area, but it looks like they're setting their sights on this top lane play potentially, where Scrams is waiting in the bush to potentially turn around something, some sort of nonsense.
I'll be honest with you, Captain Laserkush does not give a fuck. This guy is walking around all over the place, willy-nilly. I swear I keep seeing him just cheeked up, the most forward position, and it just is fine for him. But Cootie's gonna look here with advantage toss.
Yeah, Scrams is here. Oh, finally gets the interrupt, but a lot of damage had already been done. He's just jumping onto Cossacks. Is this the Zac solo bolo? It kind of is. He got a little help from Altera, but now Clid Cootie in trouble as Winged teleported in, finds his Twin Fang in, and it's two kills for ROTM.
I would say they should look Baron here. Not going to, though.
Yeah, it looks like the tower is going to be the big potential prize here.
They have to be. There's a TP available here for Thought Island if you like to
Death
take
Lotus
it.
is in a lot of trouble just trying to run away from Captain Laserkush, who, again, hasn't really shown that he cares about a whole lot, but maybe should care about his health bar as he gets taken down.
Yeah.
Oh, just hit the tower! Oh, no.
It's
Alright,
okay.
they're gonna get it, but...
Sure. You take that. That's what, a 3 for 0?
Yeah.
Flash, not double flashes, but flash expand by Death Lotus. Going to have to be a little careful with that. Come dragon spawn, right? We used our flash off of dragon spawn timer, so that fight could be hard to play if a Mumu gets in range. But honestly, I'm not. What I'd like to see is in the last few dragon skirmishes, it's felt like it's been really hard for Wing to get involved, which is like I was talking. There's a bit of a range issue with this Cassiopeia. I'm curious if he's going to be able to get a nice little flash ult or sit in an odd bush somewhere or get a good flank, something like that. Because just trying to front to back it, I don't think is going to work super well for him personally.
Yeah, I'm more curious if we're gonna see, because these packages from Grizzly Grimes have netted a total of 0 damage, I think.
Well, yeah.
Maybe he got a clip on the first one, but like, if we see a big package, if we see even like a moderately okay package, how does that change the complexion of these fights? Because they've been pretty close
over
without them.
Yeah, it's over is what happens. Sorry, I just took a bite of a breakfast sandwich.
A breakfast sandwich? What's are you a sausage or a bacon breakfast sandwich?
It's from Dunkin' Donuts. It's like a sugar maple bacon with like egg and cheese croissant. One of my roommates got it yesterday and they said they didn't really like it and I didn't want to buy dinner, so here I am.
Both. Well, that sounds reasonable. I don't know about your roommate not liking that. That sounds like a lot of things that are enjoyable on a breakfast sandwich. So
yeah, apparently they took issue with the egg.
With the egg.
Yeah, something about the egg was just throwing them off.
Okay, well.
Like, I mean, they knew egg was on it when they ordered it, right? Because, that's how ordering stuff works. But, anyways, there's a dragon spawning. And it's total control for Cossacks and Freds.
Yeah, they have swept out all of the vision in the area, and Grizzly Grimes is zipping around with his package available. What's the play for ROTM? They're a little separated, a little grouped up, a little shoving mid, a little just gonna give the dragon away and not really do a thing.
I would love to see what their plan is to contest the next one, because that was riveting. And they still have package available.
Yeah, so you just walk to Baron and threaten that. It'll time out here. It's blinking, so it's less than 30. And now it's gone, but like you can still threaten
Cossacks
this.
and Freds could just look on Baron here.
They spotted Winged on a ward headed to bottom lane as well, so they know he's separated. Toe Knuckles just disappeared from the top lane, so like, I don't know. It's a position where you could probably walk up and hit it.
They don't like their vision game compared to what they had on Dragon's side, right? I mean, they were able to essentially walk in and assert full control over the RotM bottom side jungle. Not able to do the same thing on the top side because they just didn't have any wards, right? So, I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Grizzly Grimes is a little separated here. Okay.
Grizzly Grimes should be okay. Oh.
I don't think Toe really cares about the little bit of Baron damage, but...
Oh, Scrams clearly does not either.
I think Scrams has to care a little more about it, but... I guess he's
What is going on? Whoa.
What are we doing? Cossacks is just getting bounced. Oh. Got 80 flash. That's pretty good. You'll slap click. I'm not even gonna try to talk. Altera's dead. And this is not a great fight for ROTM now. Cassiopeia just gets spotted, winged, immediately taken down by Cossacks. And now Captain Laser Kush on to Death Lotus, burns him down with the Subjugate, and it's just Toe Knuckles left for ROTM. He'll dash over the wall, but all of the good that had been done in the game kind of gets undone in that one play from ROTM. It's a 5-for-0 ace, and now Cossacks and friends start up the Baron.
Yeah, it's a bit of an overforce, to state the obvious. And I also think that there must have just been something unclear. I mean, because if Toe Knuckles can get his ult in with Scrams, even though Misfortune is flashing and healing away, they can probably set the pick. And I think that if they're actually able to kill off Misfortune when they were looking on it, it changes off the rest of the fight, right? Because you don't have the bullet time come through and destroy Altera before they're able to cast an ability. But it's still a bit weird. Not the kind of controlled play that you usually like to see, right?
Well, and it's so different from what we've seen from this team too. I just wonder if they saw something. They must not have had the full information. Basically, they must have thought that somebody wasn't there, or there was something missing from the side of Cossacks and friends, because that's just kind of an out of character overforce.
Yeah, I
Like,
saw
you watch.
I saw Scrams in the river, and I was thinking, oh well, I bet he realizes, he's kind of out of position here, and they start charging his elastic slingshot going forward, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, you watch one of the plat teams do that, or you watch Dread do that, and you're like, yeah, that's in character, but this isn't really in character for Surprise Party, at least as we've seen them the last two games. So kind of curious what wire got crossed there, but regardless, now they have to deal with the consequences, which is a Baron and a 5,000 gold lead for Cossacks and friends, and now a little bit of an uphill battle where you've really got to rely on Death Lotus, it looks like, to be your big driving force, your big damage dealer here in the late game.
Yeah, he's on 3 items, right? Which is when Jinx is really starting to come into her own. Not at the 4th item Infinity Edge yet, which is when he's, godlike, but has the damage now. Has the damage to play a team fight. Thaw Island is level 17. This is a pick for sure.
Yeah, 6 levels ahead of Altera, but forced to evacuate his own Hextech Ultimatum. Scrams bouncing, needs to bounce onto the MF, but the double kill, the triple kill for Thaw Island, or Cossacks, excuse me, as he just stands his ground. They'll get the shutdown in return, but the MF damage was just disgusting from Cossacks.
Yeah. Cossacks is playing from the state of Texas because that was a stand your ground law if I've ever seen one. Holy. In the face of Zach, opens fire. Probably ought to have focused the Misfortune, but at the end of the day, I don't know if you can pin the game on that play in particular, right? It's been a few steps to get us to this position.
Yeah, that was.
And it should be Infernal Soul picked up for free by Cossacks and Friends, which is going to, I mean, they're not lacking for damage now, but this should really push them over the edge.
Yeah, and now it makes the game even less interactive for Return to the Middle Sticks, because now as Corki or MF, you walk up to a tower and you hit the rocket or the funny Make It Rain ability, and that's just an extra chunk of damage to go with your extra chunk of damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. I'd really like to see Cossacks and Friends just grouping up and sieging in side lanes, right? Your Camille is 3 items. I'm pretty confident that she beats Shen in the 1v1 at this point in the game. So you can run like a 1-4, Camille has teleport available, and you should be able to just poke out. It's really hard for our team to fight back, I think, right now.
I feel like that's any point when you have a Camille. It's like, let's just run a 1-4, guys.
Yeah.
That was always my favorite part. That when you play Camille, it just means that you get a lane of farm reserved to you and only you at all points in the game, and that's a lot of.
It's pretty nice. It's
a lot
kind of a. Yeah. It's like a unique top laner thing, not just a Camille thing in particular.
Well, there are games where you're just. You're on Ornn duty and you just got to group up with your team, and that means that you're AD and then you're mid laner, and then sometimes your jungler get the farm priority over you. But when you're Camille, guys, let's 1-4. Give me that farm. I'm a split for a bit.
Oh my gosh, the damage.
Yeah, this is what we wanted them to do, and they're doing it, and that's why you wanted to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. We could be living in a world where they're also taking the bot tier too, but
You don't need to get greedy, right? You can just...
yeah, I mean,
They could win the game. They could win the game, potentially.
yeah.
Winged is trying. This is
Yeah, but what can he do, right?
everything that you can
Anytime,
do as a snake.
if he's
yeah.
ever in range to think about hitting Misfortune or Corky, he is getting a Mumu ulted, you know? And Baron comes up in 45 seconds. It's worth, just on a micro note, for the Cossacks and friends, if they watch the VOD, that they probably would have preferred to focus the bottom lane tower so that when they take this reset here, they can come out into the top lane and shove it in and have the further away inhibitor pushing away from Baron. But I don't think they're too concerned about the crossing their T's and dotting their I's at this point in this game.
Well, Captain Lasercush and Clid Cootie setting up vision around the Baron. What does a miracle team fight look like for ROTM? How can they possibly find a fight to win this game?
Cossacks runs it down. Grizzly Grimes drops a Tyler 1 package.
Is that a thing? A Tyler 1 package?
Yeah, there's a old clip of back when it was old Tyler 1. He was playing Corky and he's just, running it down mid with package. This is like pre-ban Tyler 1.
Okay. That's a decent package, but getting charmed into the top. A lot of CC actually being exchanged, and Winged will shut him down, but in comes the bullet time over the top. They'll lose Zac on the top side. Death Lotus has come in and shot one auto attack precisely, and he'll get eliminated. Oh, he actually wins the 1v1 against that island, but it's just the trade, and Cossacks, Captain Lasercush, and Clid Cootie all survived the fight. 5 for 2 ace, and they'll run it down mid.
Well, they got one part of the equation. They got the Grizzly Grimes Tyler 1 package, but Cossacks did not feel compelled to use his own personal package. Instead, just did what he's been doing all game. Pressed ER. I think it's a nice game for Cossacks and friends. They stacked their dragons. They had good pressure on the bottom side all game with this Comet Misfortune. And I think for RTM, you look at your draft and you realize it was difficult to play, right? When your only engage is hard countered by Trundle, and your bot lane is constantly under fire. Your mid laner has a range disadvantage.
Yeah.
It's not an unwinnable draft, but it's hard, right? So maybe they go back to the drawing board on one or two pieces at least, and going into game 2.
Yeah, they also did a great job taking advantage of that one fight that was just super split up by ROTM. They didn't bungle that one. They got all 5 kills, maximized that damage out of it, and then kind of ran away with the game after that point. So
yeah, for sure.
A good game by Cossacks and friends. We'll be back with game number 2. We'll see if ROTM can strike back and level the series. Apparently spectate mode is fixed now, so that's remarkable. It just took them patching, I guess. Not that we're using spectate mode today, we're just in the thing that
playing.
actually worked. Well, apparently tournament codes just worked the whole time. Like, no matter what, you just had spectator. That's how we did it last night, because spectator mode was still technically disabled.
That makes sense to me, actually, yeah.
I just think that's weird, because like you couldn't create your own custom game with spectators, but you could just have a tournament code which had spectators on it.
I'm going to see the new Jordan Peele movie this weekend. It's not really new. It's been out for like over a month.
I feel like this is where I'm supposed to have some banter.
Yeah, I don't know. Like any thought?
I very
I could also
vaguely
just keep going. I was just.
I very vaguely know who that is, and I
He's
occasionally watch movies. You know, that's
you're
a
familiar with
human thing that people do.
You're familiar with the Key and Peele sketches.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele. He's one of those guys.
All I know is
and he doesn't do comedy sketch. Well, maybe he still does, but he directs horror movies now, or like psychological thrillers. I don't know, whatever they call them.
Yeah, I've seen that they're very good.
He's pretty good at it. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen them, or been. I'm not a big horror movie person anyway, so.
So he made Get Out, and that movie was very good.
It's
so,
like Get Out.
Put him on the map immediately.
Baby Driver or something like that, and then.
No, he did not. He did not do Baby Driver.
I don't. Oh, I'm looking it up now. Him. Get Out. Oh, Us.
Sorry.
Oh, Nope. Nope is the new one, I guess.
Yeah, Nope is. That's what I'm going to see.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I'm on the same page. Was it
my favorite? My favorite Jordan Peele horror movie, Baby Driver. Baby Driver's a good movie too. It's
action film. Oh well, I'm just completely wrong. What?
Yeah,
there was one about a baby, I thought, but it.
Oh, Boss Baby?
No, not Boss Baby. No, there's some sort of baby-based horror movie that was popular.
That sounds like Boss Baby.
All I know is Keegan Michael Key is Toad. That's all I got for you. All right.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, draft has started. By the way.
Well, now I can't continue researching what baby movie I was thinking of.
What a shame.
I swear, there's something to do with the baby. I don't know. Somebody save me. This is, I'm a big movie buff, honestly.
I can tell, yeah.
Well, draft for game number 2. ROTM opting to stay on red side. So we'll see what new wrinkle they have for their draft. But so far, same 3 bands.
Yeah. But both teams have kind of skipped or changed a little bit. Like, Vigar was second rotation last game for Cossacks. They're leaving the Wukong up, which, generally speaking, means you'd expect them to select Wukong. Here on side of RTM, you feel like they've dropped the Sivir ban for some certain champion, but I can't think of which one it could be.
Yeah,
it could be any of them.
We'll see what
I would think
ban.
that the idea is that they're going to ban Misfortune. It will be Sivir. Okay. Because Misfortune's kind of considered to be more of a Sivir counter, I think. Because Sivir can't do anything about the Make It Rain spam, which gets chunked out just like a bunch of other ADCs. And so if you ban the Misfortune, then you're free to pick Sivir. Or at least handshake Sivir versus Wukong, since Cossacks and Friends left it available. But giving the Sivir away scares me here, because now we've got to find an answer maybe to this Misfortune Amumu combo in the bottom lane. Trundle picked up is going to feel alright going into the Wukong.
It's alright into the Wukong, plus it does kind of preempt the Sivir, or the MF Amumu.
Yeah.
Pillar notably pretty good against MF ulting. I don't know that that's like your one-stop shop answer, but you're gonna pair that up with a Seraphine. I didn't like the Zac look from Scrams. Like, I thought he had some good plays on it. It just felt like it wasn't as effective as maybe I wanted to see.
As soon as the Zac was locked in, right, I thought it was an odd choice, right?
I know that it's a takeaway from Captain Laser Kush.
But they blew on Trundle, I mean, why would he not just play Trundle jungle if you're gonna pick Zac into it? It's a little. Anyways, time's gone. Jinx Nautilus locked in. Eon. Seraphine picked up for RTM, which I actually like a lot, right? This is technically a 3-way flex. I don't know if Death Lotus plays it, but I assume Winged does. You could run a Seraphine ADC into the likes of Jinx Nautilus. You could really do a lot from this position in the draft. We'll have to see right now where RTM decides to go with it. Which, Ah,
That's definitely a champion.
that is.
I feel like the Rat has a large target on his back that can be very easily hit by Wukong and Nautilus.
Hmm.
But in
And
isolation, I don't think it's a bad pick. But
it's one of
it
those things
feels,
where
again, hard to play, which is the issue that we saw last game for some of the RTM draft. They're
the
gonna
Rat
ban
has been
Cassiopeia.
very popular lately, right? In professional play, if you've been watching, but I feel like we were perhaps missing that it's been popular because he's a traditional Sivir counter. We're not playing. We banned Sivir. I'm not sure where his place exactly in this bottom lane is. I don't know my bottom lane matchup tables that well. I would assume that Twitch Seraphine actually wins 2v2 against Jinx Nautilus, but that's the thing about Nautilus, whether you love him or you hate him. There's a lot of people that will die on the hill that Nautilus is actually an extremely overrated champion. He does have a single target, point and click, crowd control ultimate ability. That's gonna be Lilia picked up, by the way. I'm curious where we're sending that. Is that top lane? Just Raw versus Kennen?
Kennen is probably the Wing Nation champion.
Yes.
Um,
Could be.
but
We could. I guess we could technically see an R5 jungle pick here.
oh, there's an
Already
Ari.
locked in.
Okay, so we got a fox, a deer, a monkey, 2 rats in this draft. It's a very very animal-centric draft this game.
I'm curious who we're sending top and who we're sending jungle between the Lily and the Wukong, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious what RTM's idea of that is as well. Gragas Locker. Okay. I don't. This clears up very little for me. I'm also.
But why?
Yeah. That's a fine question. If it's into
Camille has
Lilia,
Cho'Gath ulti on Q, that's true. I am reacting very late to that message, but
yeah,
it's
he
very
said that a little while,
yeah.
pretty much immediately after the end of the game, but we acknowledged it.
That's how you drive stream engagement, is you reply to chat messages.
Yeah.
That's what it tells you on Twitch after every stream if you don't have very many people talking in your chat. It's like, oh, the people that talk in your chat, reply to them, and then they'll reply back to you. And
No. Impossible.
it doesn't seem to work out very well for me
It
when
frankly
I do it,
doesn't add up.
but like, I guess that's a thing that helps people.
I don't know if there's any assembly of this Gragas Trundle or Wukong Lilia that makes me really love RTM's comp more than Cossacks and Friends, but I do think that I do like some of the looks we've got here. I think that your team composition is easier and more straightforward to play, and you aren't being shut out as hard by some of the picks over the side.
Yeah,
Over
and
on blue side.
I feel like as long as you're not just turbo sprinting it, there's always a fight where you just throw Kennen in and you get like a Twitch Seraphine ults on top of that and you just wipe the whole team. Like,
yeah, if
it
you
doesn't
layer
really
your
matter
ults,
what team it is,
it's winning.
but yeah, you have the ability to find a miracle team fight at any point, which
And that's kind of the Gragas. I mean, he looks weird, and I think he is still a bit weird here, but one of the things Gragas is very good at is playing Peel.
Flamin' my man Gragas, he looks weird. Jeez.
Yeah, that's what I meant for sure. But he's very good at playing Peel against the likes of Wukong or even Ari, just using Body Slam to lock people up when they're trying to dive on your Twitch and your Seraphine. Using Cask to break up the enemy formation, I think to that end, he's helpful to RTM because they kind of have to pick their moment, right? Where they have Seraphine, Kennen, and Twitch, and the last thing they want is for a giant cyclone to come ripping through their team while they're trying to hit that engage. So should be helpful if it's navigated well.
These lock-ins don't have to be final. I'm pretty sure you can trade up to 20 seconds, but most teams don't do that. I think it's kind of interesting that a lot of teams don't.
We did that sometimes on the R18. Or there was one time we had Graves and Gragas locked in, or no, Viego, Gragas. We took it down to the wire.
I think the generally accepted thing is 20 seconds because that's what LCS does, but most leagues don't have a rule about it, so you just kind of freewheel it and hope that your trade button doesn't break.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I like RTM's team more. I think that there's honestly, if they do get a lead, I think it's going to be pretty easy to run with it. I think there's basically your question marks are on, do Kennen and Twitch get fed? If they do, you can win. If they don't, you might struggle a little bit.
Do you feel like
Cossacks and Friends they have a lot of damage. They have good damage, but it's also not the. It's weird for me. I'm about to say they have a lot of damage. Okay, let me think. They have a lot of damage dealers, but none of them, except for like Jinx later on, are the highest of damage dealers, right?
Yeah.
And RTM, I think, has some very high damage dealers, but they're not. But if you're going into the mid game even, then maybe they don't quite stack up to the likes of Ahri or Wukong. So I think it's going to be all about getting a lead built up for this Twitch and this Kennen, right? If they can get strong enough to just manhandle these team fights, then RTM should have a pretty good time in this game.
I'm also
we'll just have to see how the lane
curious
goes.
about the build that Toe Knuckles will be doing. If he's going full tank Gragas, if he's going for the funny Night Harvester build.
Yeah, I think if you really want to win, you probably build Everfrost, but and you just use it to lock up Wukong for longer, Wukong or Ahri or Lilia or whoever your body slamming. But Night Harvester's pretty funny, so we could always go with that.
I think that's a really valuable stat that teams underrate, I think, in their drafts, is how funny is it?
Yeah. How much, I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta have some fun playing your video game.
I don't like hearing that. No fun allowed playing your video game.
Hey, you're telling me, brother, you saw me lock in Jarvan.
You lock
over and over
Jarvan, you
again.
lock Trundle. You play those champions and only those.
Did you know I was the rank 1 Trundle in the world during that time on League of Graphs?
That's
I was
really impressive.
self flex. I was the greatest to ever do it. Briefly.
I have never been that good at anything in my life, so that's definitely.
Well, League of Graphs stats are a fickle mistress, where it's like there's definitely people that were better than me at Trundle, but there's this Trundle top guy. He streams sometimes. He's a Trundle top main. He's definitely better than me. And Trundle top, he had worse stats because he started out higher elo than me, and Trundle top is just worse than Trundle jungle, right? So I could get up there and be proud of my rank 1 Trundle, but
Hey, we take those. Your rank 1 Trundle.
Hey,
we had a rank 1 of Moo for a little bit. Shout out.
We actually had a team of rank 1 Trundles. Akata was I don't think it was actually on NA server. I think it was like LAN or something. that he had a screenshot of himself as the rank 1 Trundle. we had a team of Trundle gods.
That's all you can ask for at a
Yeah.
certain point. Like,
Truly.
it's a coach's dream. Like, can we lock Trundle here? Of course. We've got 3 Trundle gods. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of question is
Yep.
that? Yeah.
Ooh.
We'll invade action from Cossacks and friends to start this one off. Just gonna get some vision from the buff wall and tickle
A
Scramps a
little
little bit.
dance action. Sorry, I should have elaborated on that.
Do you
Scramps was dancing.
Yeah, do you rate
He's
Little
opted for
Slugger
Ghosts.
Trundle or
Yeah, that's the skin I use every game.
okay.
It's actually just because I don't have a traditional Trundle, which is the actual best skin, but Lil Slugger's the next best. I sometimes you see the see the racist Trundle skin, the police officer one.
Oh, true.
Did you see that a while back? I think it was in 2020 on Twitter where they were trying to cancel.
It was Officer Volibear, right?
Yeah, I think it was like
Yeah.
Santorin playing Officer Volibear.
I vaguely remember that. It was like someone really loosely affiliated with C9, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a bit silly.
You know, sometimes you just want to be the main character on Twitter, and
They
that's
did
what it takes. Yeah.
So Winged went over to auto the ward in red buff or get XP from that ward on the red buff, which I think is funny because the idea is that you then get level 2 off of the first wave, but I'm pretty sure that he was so late to the first wave it didn't matter too much. Both junglers starting opposite sides, starting their own red buffs. Oh, level 2 advantage.
Yeah, level 2, Altera gets stuck on the Flame Chompers. This is the combo. The Jinx and Nautilus thing that you do is you hit level 2 and then you throw people into the Chompers while
Alright, Scram's ghosted for this.
Yeah, Scrams is definitely there, and now he's headed back to his blue buff. Alright.
I don't even think he has Pillar. No, he doesn't. He friggin' booked it down from his wolf camp, popped Ghost and hauled it in. Hey, respect for the look, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's good you get the conditioning in. That means later on, when other people are tired, you're not going to be tired, because you got that conditioning in.
Scram's working on his workout regimen.
Yeah, that's what my hockey coach always told us, so I'm assuming that it's applicable to everything. Oh.
Okay.
Alright, this is the Showmaker Kennen skin, so we're really looking for something special. Or is it Nuggery? It's Nuggery, right? Because it's a record.
Yeah, it's definitely Nuggery. I was like, there's... Oh.
I was like,
Both
it's Kennen mid lane, so it's the mid lane skin. No, it was the top lane. It's the Nuggery Kennen skin.
There's
Showmaker
a lot
is
of
TF for some reason, which is a very boring champion.
A lot of ghosts happening in this game.
Yeah, it's a bit
this was
spooky
subtle.
out there. That's... Yeah, Scrams is on the wraparound, looking not for What is this target selection? They're gonna get Clid-Cootie. I guess they were just assuming no matter what they get that first blood. So Death Lotus was looking for a little something extra on the backside of that one.
I mean, it looks silly, but it did work. He got the flash out of Cossacks that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten, which is it's pretty good. Yeah, a little patience from Scrams. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa, whoa! That's some skill shots that weren't hit, but Scrams.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that was
he's
scary.
got a chicken, so that's nice. They left that.
It's one of those things where you remember that you feel like Scrams was one or two hit skill shots away from painfully remembering that he not only did not run flash, but also doesn't even have his ghost available, and passing away.
This is kind of nasty by Thought Island. Gonna go ahead and stall out the minion wave just outside of the turret range, which Makes it that much more difficult
Yeah.
for Toe Knuckles to play the
Yeah.
game here for another
I
couple of
don't
minutes.
quite know how this happened. There's a wave management incident, I think. It doesn't look like he's particularly putting the hurt down onto Toe Knuckles. They're gonna look for the play in the bottom lane.
Yeah,
Root's
the
gonna land.
3v3 gonna come out though. The Swirl Seed lands. Grizzly Grimes is almost in the area though. Altera taken down first.
Oh!
Scrams doesn't have any ability to get out. It's a double kill for Clid Cootie on the Nautilus.
Yeah. Huh. That's classic Nautilus. My favorite part was when he said it's not in time and went and nodded all over those guys.
I think you can say those words in that order on Twitch. I'm not really sure. But, he definitely did get the double kill though, and that's something that we'll have to live with for the rest of our lives. It's an Infernal Dragon pickup for Cossacks and friends, and they're kind of picking up where they left off in game number 1. They've looked pretty comfortable so far.
Yeah.
And especially just the CS leads that you have top and jungle right now are pretty impressive. Worth noting is that Thought Island doesn't have the teleport spell, but Grizzly Grimes does, so eventually we're probably going to see some Gragas versus Ahri side lane action.
Yeah, which pulse pounding, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, this is how you expect the jungle matchup to go, honestly. I mean, you don't expect it to... if you don't get killed there, then you're feeling a bit better for Wear. But Lilia just naturally has a faster pace than Trundle. Scrams picks up the Tiamat to try and counteract it. And I didn't get a chance to talk about this last game because Captain Laserkush... Oh, maybe I won't get a chance this game. Okay.
Yeah, just the flash
Good.
from Death Lotus.
He just flashed away. I'm just going to go back to talking about Tiamat on Trundle. And why you shouldn't do it, okay? Actually, Captain Laserkush, he picked it up. I don't remember if he got it this early. I know he didn't rush it, but if you look at the stats on it, right, you're getting 25 attack damage for 1,200 gold. There's a funny little item called Caulfield's Warhammer that gives you 25 AD, ability haste, and it builds into your mythic, right? So if you're building Team Out on Trundle, you're basically just paying 1,200 gold to clear your Raptor camps a little faster, you know?
There's also an item called Pickaxe that also has 2580, but that's it. That's all it does. So.
Yeah. This is awesome. Yeah.
And it's
Tiamat's a
gold cheaper, so.
really terrible rush component in the jungle on almost any character. Sad state of Tiamat. It just is. 4 people up on the top side. Should be a free Rift Herald going over to the side of blue team. Cossacks. Actually, Cossacks isn't there, so this is going to be a Rift Herald going over to the friends.
I like that. Yeah, it's still hanging in about 1,000 gold lead for Cossacks and also the friends. The sleep coming down onto Wing underneath the tower. Uses the Slicing Maelstrom. He's gonna get the 1 kill and be able to flash away alive. Cossacks getting dove in the bottom lane, but water seasonal this time of year, so nobody gonna die. I don't know what that means.
What?
Don't, please don't.
What?
The water is it's okay, you know. No one. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. No one
it's
died.
a dive.
Yeah, because it's a dive.
Okay.
I don't know what
Sure.
seasonal means about it, but other than that, it was it was a valid analogy until it wasn't. Is what I'm really trying to say.
Hey, good looks. Good looks. Not good looks is running at Kennen under his tower with his ultimate available. Nice little kill picked up for Wing Nation. That's the kind of stuff I think you want if you're RTM. Now, here is the sad reality of not having teleport is their jungler is there, and they're going to drop Rift Herald, and you need to reset, and there's not a lot you can do about it.
Yeah, Captain
Oh, and
Laserfish
how
went
about
for
Terra and
the
Scram's cover?
watch out eep, but he should have been the one that watched out and eeped. Anyway,
Oh.
Charm onto Grizzly Grimes,
It's a
and
kill.
yeah, there's not a whole lot of places for the Ari to go, especially with Flash not up for another about 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah. Now, he will be able to rejoin them for the dragon fight, and they will have no Seraphine ult at the dragon fight. But I think they should be able to navigate that all right. It's going to be a nice... always good to get a little gold picked up and take the free kills where they lie. Plate picked up for Winged in the process. If they want to contest this dragon, I think... Oh. How does he not have enough AD for those? I guess it's only a Vamp Scepter. It's a little sad. I don't know, dragon spawning now, you would feel like, oh, RTM's setting the trap. You're gonna look for Laser Cushion Grimes here.
Oh, yeah, definitely set the trap, and Captain Lasercush about to be demoted back to Corporal. I hope that's the right direction.
Uh-oh.
Wing caught a little bit here, though. Grizzly Grimes able to weave in enough damage, and now Scram's just trying to play okey doke through the bush, but just gets Nautilus ulted, and that works out pretty well for Cossacks and friends. 2 kills on the Ari, and with dragons spawning, they can just walk in and take it if they want to.
Yeah, I would expect that they will. Probably gonna wait for Laser Kush to be en route. Oh,
Ooh, Death Lotus is a alcove gamer. Oh, he's going for Cossacks. Dodges the hook. He might have this one. Now the exhaust coming down. Does he have the expunge damage? He does to pick up the kill on the Jinx and be able to stealth away. They're looking for Clid Cootie now. This is much more exciting than whatever happened to the dragon in the background. Actually, that wasn't the dragon. It was a tower?
yeah, mid tower
Okay,
went down.
mid tower
It was
died.
already low.
Oh no, the swirls he just dodged out. Death Lotus picks up 2 kills in the bottom lane.
Oh.
He's gonna have to sacrifice his
All
support to. I was gonna say the wolves,
It's
but
a
this
nice,
is a fox
it's a nice
and a
stall
deer.
from Altera.
Oh, Scrams is here with Winged. They might be able to turn this one back around. The burn isn't quite enough. Now the Lilting Lullaby used just to try to disengage Scrams. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Thought Island, it's the Ignite and gets the solo kill on Toe Knuckles.
Wow. This should be RTM's dragon. They need to be expedient with it, because they are all low, and Cossacks is back, but Captain Laser Kush a little bit too low. No Super Mega Death Rocket available. It's already sent soaring down the bottom lane. Yeah, a little unfortunate. I don't think that Gragas is really... Early game Gragas is really built to hold Wukong. I think there's definitely a... Oh, Winged.
Oh, Winged is looking for the
Grimes.
Slicing Maelstrom. Has the damage, the Ignite, the autos, a solo kill for Winged. And he gets the shutdown on the Ari, just the extra 150 gold on the end of that one. And it's a good little sequence for RTM. They get a couple of kills, they get a dragon. They pull the gold lead back to 1,000 for Cossacks and friends, to be clear.
Yeah, they're down about 1,000 gold, and I think this, again, kind of the things we saw in the first game, right? Cossacks and friends doing a very good job of right-clicking the minions, and then picking up all those tower plates in the mid lane tower, going to net them pretty much all their gold lead. On the bright side for your RTM, your win conditions are winning. You know, your cannon is looking strong enough. Your Twitch is 3-0, and that's really all you care about. See, and this is what I'm talking about, though, with the Tiamat, by the way, is Scrams would just have his Mythic here. He'd have it right now. But so we're going back for Kindle Gem or Merc Treads or something. Yeah. Oh, nice Everfrost.
Yeah,
Charm
Everfrost.
yucked into the minion, but here comes Nautilus ult. Don't know if we can survive this.
No Charm, but the hook follow-up, and Cossacks picks up himself a nice little shutdown. Extra 200 gold for those of you trying to track shutdowns for some reason and have the inability to read the bottom of the chat. So,
those of you trying to track shutdowns but can't do it. Here we are. Riptail picked up. Gonna be picked up. Yeah, I don't know, and it's also Deathless's flash down, right? So they can. Oh,
Oh, Wing
Wing
is
going
just
in.
looking for this on cooldown. He doesn't have Ignite this time, so needs
Oh,
one more Shuriken. Does he have it? Oh, the Flash Auto Shuriken?
it's a
Anything?
flash Q, but I guess you can't do that.
I think he was trying to Q Flash for some reason.
Yeah, or yeah, Q
Hook
flash.
is gonna land on the Toe Knuckles. Altair
Wow.
kept him alive for forever, but wasn't quite able to drag Thought Island back into tower range.
Hmm. Yeah, another solo kill for Thought Island. I mean, Sunder. There's a point where Gragas has enough CDR and points in his E that he survives this matchup easily, but right now we're not at that point, and Wukong has Divine Sunder.
Captain Laserkush looking. Oh, that pillar was kind of nasty to
Well,
knock him out of the W,
it was
but
well done.
doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. As Sheila takes down the top lane tower, Thought Island shows us that he is in fact Mastery 4, which is statistically the funniest Mastery, so always appreciate seeing
Yes.
that one.
Again, and that's what really matters, right?
I wish on some champions I could just keep Mastery 4. Like, not one I'm interested to go to 6 or 7 on, but just let me keep Mastery 4 so that when I make a misplay, I can flash that. And when I make a good play, I can flash that. Because, like, again, statistically the funniest Mastery. The best is if you have Eternals. If you can get 4 with 2 bars, that is maximizing your Mastery intake.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, I have mastery. There's some junglers where I have pretty funny low mastery scores on them. It's like I guess I'm just a scrim warrior on the character.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite series, was casting Aikedo when Lilia was like a fairly recent champion, and he decided to pick Lily up a little bit late. So he had 4 with 2 bars during this entire series, and was just flashing it nonstop while just destroying people. He dropped like a 20 bomb on Lilia with Mastery 4 with 2 bars on it. It was very entertaining.
The call's been completed for Cossacks.
If I got that sound effect every time I completed a cull, I would probably buy it every game. Thought Island finds the kill onto Wing. A little overstep there on the Slicing Maelstrom, and now Scrams gets caught by Cossacks and Kid Cootie. He didn't have anywhere to run in particular.
Yeah.
I guess he could have gone the long way around the embankment.
Downriver, but also, frying pan, fire, or maybe it's rock in a hard place. I don't know. He had a few things going at him.
Yeah.
It looked like RTM's not on the same page, right? With Wing stepping up, getting a little too chunked. I mean, let's not really able to get too much done with his ultimate, and then Scram's also totally out of position, so just gonna give up third dragon. And Yuck a little bit more of a gold lead back their way. Back to the way of Cossacks and friends.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately similar to what we saw in last game, where it felt like the game was very competitive until RTM made a couple of questionable decisions to kind of toss some gold the way of Cossacks and friends. And again, feels kind of similar to that, where we're just handing it over to him, giving him a little bit extra gold on top of the gold lead that they'd already earned.
Yep. Yeah. There's, there's still some, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for gold on the map, all these towers standing, this shutdown to be claimed on Thought Island. RTM, I think something decent to call attention to is I think it's actually a pretty nice use of control wards around the dragon here from the side of Cossacks and friends, right? When you look at how they've got them all laid out, when you're playing around dragons, you really have to avoid like a Kennen flank engage or a Gragas engage flank. Even could be pretty devastating to your backline. So they've been able to control the areas they want to fight in really well, and they're doing a good job, I think. Not just of putting down vision and controlling areas, but of not picking fights when they haven't done so, right?
Yeah.
Which again is something that you see teams kind of struggle with at this level of play sometimes. So, you might have great vision on the bot side, but then you do a little top side fighting. Oh, oh,
That was a
oh,
strong
oh.
bonk. Man
Yeah.
wields that staff pretty heavily, as it turns out.
What are we doing here?
Um,
This feels... We've got some weird dead time here,
it feels like
and we're all
RotM wants
standing
to make a
around.
play,
It
but they...
feels reminiscent of the Zac in the river.
Oh, here we go! The flash over the
Oh,
wall, the
wow.
winged able to lock up 3 people. Captain Laserkush is going to fall, but Thought Island gets onto the back line. It's just ripping through Death Lotus and Toe Knuckles. They'll find a double kill there. So the two sides of the fight couldn't have gone more different for the two teams. It's a triple kill for the Wukong. It's a double kill for the Kennen, but ultimately the one-man advantage for Cossacks and friends means that they'll be able to muscle their way through another tower.
Yeah, I'm no mathematician, but 3 is greater than 2, right? I don't have any advanced analysis beyond that.
Yeah, that's honestly enough. That provides everything that I think needed to be said.
Yeah, I mean, Thought Island's really throwing his weight around, and kind of like I was worried about. I mean, this Wukong champion is really good at disrupting these kind of immobile backlines like the Twitch and the Seraphine. So he's just going to be a real big pain. I'll be honest, 7-0, 700 gold bounty. As long as he doesn't do a little bit of trolling, that I think these team fights are going to be feeling really good for Cossacks and friends. He's up almost 4,000 gold on Toe Knuckles. Just a massive advantage in the top lane here for Thought Island.
Yeah, no man is an island, but luckily top lane is, so Thought Island right at home up there.
Yeah. Stupid, sexy top lane.
I don't know what Lilia was trying to say there. That was like a full paragraph that we got out of Lilia while she was.
Oh, I did not hear her. I think I have champion voices down pretty low. Not really.
I feel like it's a really important part of playing the game is being able to hear your champion's voice. You know.
No, I don't have them down low, so I just didn't hear whatever was going on.
There's also a chance, funny spectator bug where you hear some things for some people and not for others. That's nice. Happened before, where I'm like, man, this guy's just talking a lot, and like on the other spectator, it's just nothing happening.
Did you know Lee Sin says Among Us?
I didn't know that. That's
one of his voice lines. He actually says the spirits live among us or something like that.
Oh jeez.
But you know, it's one of those things where you're walking around playing Lee Sin and you're not really paying attention to the voice line, and then those 2 words stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, I feel like.
Oh, nice cast.
That's a nice cast, pulling Grizzy Grimes back in. It's just a 2-man slicing Maelstrom from Winged, and it's all falling apart for ROTM. Into the backline, Death Lotus is down, and it'll clean that one up. They lose Captain Laserkush, but it's a triple kill for Cossacks, and he and his friends will be running it down mid.
Yeah, it's a nice cast to start out, but we aren't quite able to use any other CC to lock him up. And you know, using the flash and the ult, Grizzy Grimes makes a nice escape, and then Thought Island rolls in from the side, and no threat left available for the Jinx. Means it'll be an easy team fight win for Cossacks and friends.
Yeah, they'll grab the mid lane inhibitors, as well as put themselves on Hextech Soul Point. Do you feel like Hextech Soul is a boring soul?
Yeah, but it has the slow effect, which I think is interesting. Little gamer's room. Classic.
Sometimes you
classic
hit 20.
Nation.
Yeah, you hit 24 minutes and you just have to go to the bathroom immediately.
I mean, I'm sure someone can do the math on each dragon and like how much value you get from each one. I think Hextech Dragon is one of the goats, right? 9 ability haste, 9% attack speed. It's like this mountain and infernal dragon, right? Their bonuses they scale with what you've purchased, right? So if you have armor and MR, you're getting more value from Mountain Drake. If you have AD and AP, you're getting more value from Infernal. But that Hextech is always there, right? Always equal. And I like that. that's my continued pretty boring thoughts on the dragons. I think.
Well, they unpaused, and then
Yeah,
now we
but
have
we're
the
still in our
yeah we
our
have
thing,
the
right? Well, that's great. It's
this
taking
is
its time.
I like that we got to hear
Look.
the recall sound 3 separate times, and then it decided that was enough, I guess. One of the GRLCS lands, I got stuck. Wing can attest to this. We both got stuck on Arcade Corky Gatling Gun. And it was just
Oh
playing
no.
during the entire pause, wouldn't stop. So it looks like maybe they added in a loop limit, which is nice.
Blah, blah, blah. I don't know, is there anything interesting going on in itemization? Not particularly. Everything seems to be as you would expect. For now. There's
Yeah,
always time.
I don't see anything particularly exciting. It feels like Wing needs to hit a Zanya's here, and that would be a very valuable pickup for him, but I don't know
Yeah, but
it's a little too late at this point.
he needs to hit the MF damage. This is the best angle they're gonna get if they can get a slicing maelstrom through this Baron.
Nope.
They can't. Grizzly Grimes is playing bodyguard.
Yeah, Grizzly Grimes is just zoning off 3 people. Winged and Scrams both going to fall. And into the back line goes the Lilia. It's a double kill for Cossacks. Look at the Lilting Lullaby onto Altera, and she'll have to watch out and Eep at the same time, which is very difficult to do. So
This should be game.
should be game. Death Lotus I don't think can hold 1v5.
I don't think he can hold the 1v1. Damn.
Damn.
Dang.
It's
Sorry.
the Bud Light next ace.
Oh.
I think that's
Yeah.
what they say now. I don't.
I
is it
could
just
not
Bud
tell you.
next? I don't remember. Yeah, Cossacks and his friends take the 2-0. They're going to improve to 3-1. ROTM falls to 2-2. It was both games were close until they weren't, which
I think there was a
stands to reason,
a sizable amount of early game fight from the RTM squad, right? And there's some stuff you can go back to the drawing board on and clean up. I think they gave themselves a hard draft to play in game one. I think that when you look, there's some pretty clear, it's obvious to you where your mistakes are and what you can do to improve on that going forward, and just a little anxiety in some of these mid-game fights. But also, I think it was a really nice game from Cossacks and friends. I mean, I think the bottom lane had a great game over there in game one. Thought Island had a outstanding performance in game two. So, GG, well played.
Yeah, GG's for sure. That'll do it for us tonight. Yeah, tomorrow we've got both Platinum teams technically, but we're going to focus on Darkwind as they take on Contingent Esports Orange, which is just an organization name that exists for sure. Week 1 of Victorious, and then Friday we've got Dread playing their best of 5 playoff match for round 1 against Conduit Esports Ghost, which is also just a name.
I mean, our team we casted tonight, Return of the Middle Sticks Surprise Party. I don't know from what hill we are looking down upon these other organizations.
At least at least it goes together, right? There's a definite theme of there's Middle Sticks and there's a Middle Sticks skin, which is Surprise Party, right?
Yeah.
Like they go together. I don't know what Contingent
Conduit Esports Ghost or.
Well, so just the name Contingent Esports. Contingent on what? Like, what's your name mean? And then, like, why is it orange? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then Conduit Esports is kind of cool. Like, I get that. Like, there's some stuff there, but why is right, Ghost the next word?
There's something funny about Contingent Esports.
Yeah.
Contingent on, I don't know, on winning. They may disband at any time. I don't know.
Anyway, that'll do it for us tonight. So we'll see you tomorrow night for Darkwind. Who are we gonna watch? We rated Metashift yesterday. You wanna rate Victorious or Team Ambition?
Yeah, heck it. We're going back to Victorious. Let's throw them a raid.
Okay, Victorious. There's a team called Gandhiopolis. All right, yeah, go watch
Yep.
Gandhiopolis and probably support them because that's just, if that's their team name, that's fantastic.
Oh, careful! You have the. You gotta watch out for the league home screen Goodyear audio assault. Have you experienced that yet?
No, I have lobby audio turned off.